Hello, this is your man, Monster Avenger, right here. Roll. And this is the anime battle tier list that I was making to show you more tips on how to become a better ABA player. Because before, I said that knowing the tips and knowing everyone's kit would help you win more matches. So in here, I'm going to examine them really briefly. Not an ABA yet is really obvious. They're not there. Runner plus these love at first sight means that these are characters that aren't usually used in a good way, and they can't really get much skill used even with the tips, but they could get better. And for Brain Dead but could get better, these are characters that really don't take no skill, but improve when you actually use skill with them. Good for wet sweats but need close combat is these characters that are really aggressive and might take skill, but don't have that much range and works well with both skill and spam are characters that could be played in different ways. These are basically characters that work well with skill, and you could also choose to spam with them if you like. So first off is Goku Black. I don't actually own some DLCs, but I still know what place to put them in. So he's brain dead, but could get better because even though you actually could wait, okay, I'm thinking I could put him here because he is a spam character, but he could actually be amazing with skill if you know how to aim the Kamehameha and do amazing combos. So logically, he would be here. So if you like spamming but also want to apply tips, then use him. So for Bayakura, he's really good and amazing. But the sad thing is that aside from his Bayakura, he doesn't really have a lot of range aside from his travel move that could help him. Oh, and this Gohan is really good because he's really brain dead. Like, what you do is that I wouldn't consider this a spam since you would just simply use your moves only when they are in an open spot. And this awaken is really annoying. But his skill could help you actually use these tips to your advantage to be a better character. Fire Fist Ace. He is a bit of a brain dead because not many people use him to run, and they actually use them to aggressive attack you. So, yeah, aside from the obvious Firefly Light and other spammable moves, he's really good because his skill could actually help you win better. And this, yep, same because you literally spam Jet Pistol when you literally have the chance, and then you just use that Booster Gallon to just combo, and then that's it. And guard break for free your enemy when they can't avoid it. However, skill could actually make you play this character a lot better. So Kisuke. Kisuke is really amazing as well, since he's a bit of a close combat, since even though he does have a good long range move, like Byakurai is the same case. He has good skills, and the tips could help you apply when you're actually doing combos. So, for Broly, he's a bit of a or because of how different he is, and even though he's going to get a rework soon, so this tier list might change, right now, because his long range orb doesn't do that much for him, combos that are close range are his only option. So this is why this is actually in this tier. Now Trunks is also the same, because like you can literally block him and stuff, but his combos could be good if you use them right and when you know how to do lots of good combos. And this, we have our first runners plus these love at first sight. People could use Ice Pack to run away after spamming Glacier, and when they have the chance thanks to the new buff that allows you to walk through the ice, they just freeze grab you and boom, almost half your health is dead. So you can't really get much improvement if you only have like one combo. And this actually could be a bit of this because he's actually a bit long range thanks to his Sembon, which actually allows really good chip damage and also other good moves that actually help you. They may all be blockable, but don't underestimate him because he has about a combo like a Dragon Ball Z character. So he actually works both well. Now for this, it's actually really, like this is basically brain dead. You spam Rocket, Gallon, then Bazooka. However, a tip could actually help you a little on him if you know when to do it at the right time and when to sacrifice your health for a free Gallon and combo. So so he's really good, but doesn't get that much better. And for him, it's a bit of the same case because, like, he could be a really good character, but at the same time, the problem with him is that you could block him, and that long range projectile guard break mostly does him good in free for all. So, tips are needed to help him with the combos and law. I would put this in brain dead, but I would actually put this here because since people are now just running out of his room like they did before, regardless, since you can now actually avoid him easily, you could either choose to spam your attack to immediately get a free half health combo, or you could choose to be skillful and fight outside the room, which is why I put it here. Now for Krillin, he's actually right here because he does actually take some skill at some point. Like, even though his destructive burst is really annoying, imagine all the counters and easy ways to avoid it, and the beams. So at some cases he could be brain dead, but at some cases he could also take skill, depending on who you're fighting, which is why he's there. And Rock Lee is here for obvious reasons. Really close range, but he's really powerful. Rukia also here because even though she has a good long range move that's actually a guard break, it's still a bit of close combat, and it's only in Awakening where you actually get really good range off. So tips could help you a bit better, but not that much. Sanji, he belongs here. This is where he would be born if this was a tierless world, because he's literally the monster of melee combat, but lack of range. So tips and helpful like on my last video could actually help you. And hmm, this could belong here because his gun by Twister, if you know how to land it, could actually be called skillful as you know how to do the combos and maybe even double combo extend. And you knowing how to dodge with a fireball could be amazing. Now for Buu Goku, he's a bit of this because he may have two good long range moves, but at the same time you could literally easily block them. Like, once again, only in free-for-all or other multiplayer moves do you actually get the chance to do this, and only in openings. So I would actually say that this is for his tier list. Now Whitebeard, let's see. Well, because of how easy it is to block and jump away from in 1v1s, there's a bit of this. So he belongs there. And his mode, while it does change stuff, it doesn't make enough of a change to actually change his list. But if you're skillful, you could actually do well with him and land all your range. And I would also say I could actually put him here, but then again, at the same time, the reason why he's here is because, like, he literally has two moves that do, like, more than 50% of your health, and even if it does seem like he belongs here because of his close range, like Luffy, it only takes one move to get you in a combo, which is what makes him really broken, and the taunt gives you extra health. So without many combos to do, there's nothing else really you could be taught. And he belongs here because even though he's a bit close combat as well, thanks to his rework, he has really good, amazing, cool combos and spam. However, skill also works as you need to learn when to time to cancel your Sonido and then do the kick in order to do all those cool combos and actually catch people off guard. You also could work well by circling around them, which is really amazing. Now, Ichigo, let's see. He's a bit He probably belongs here because he is close to being here, but due to his close range, aside from the humongous hitboxes, without any utility really because his mode doesn't really change, then this isn't really an option for if you want to spam because you need to keep those valuable moves. But again, let's see. So for this, it actually is a bit of this because he may have a good long range move, but he still belongs here as a lot of his combos require close combat, and it's only his mode where he gets really amazing. Vegeta, on the other hand, is brain dead, because his beam's really good like in ladders, but it's his evasive that gets everyone off, because not only is it evasive, but it also got patched, and also now you could actually hit people easily with the explosive wave and knock them away for free damage, and that's an easy guard break. And even so, it's still easy damage, which means you could take good risks. Actually, mm, a bit of here because even though it is easy to get damage off, at the same time it will not be because of counters and other moves. And for regular Goku, it's also the same here because he's really powerful in his combos, like Dragon Combo, but aside from that, nothing else to say here, aside from his mode. This one because you mostly be, okay, here because you can actually either choose to spam and just win like that, or learn combos for real. So this means it would be a good opportunity to learn combos as all JoJo characters seem to have 100 to 0, if not a huge portion of your health combo. 10 liter is an easy runner because even though he at the same time he could be in this list, he's still a runner because you just run away after doing your jet kick or other moves. And you also just go at a distance and just try to kick people. One guy actually tried to do that and he almost got me, but I used Darkness and Kazuma's moveset to actually trick him into like going into the move, so he died. Bakugo, let's see. He's a bit brain dead since he's really OP when used right, but the problem with him is that you can just jump around and avoid the moves easily at some point. So not much to explain there, and his move's a bit crazy, aside from counters. This is obvious because he has lots of close combat moves, and his awakening is a free kill, which is why you actually need skill to do this if you want to use a strong combat character like this. Now, this is also the case for him because you could spam Bushogama or your other moves to get free combos, or you could choose to actually learn long combos or learn when to time things right, just like Captain Shunsui here. All Might is obviously a runner because unless you actually learn to put him in a rank over here when you actually choose to not run and actually fight and become an M1 king, aside from that, he belongs here for obvious reasons because it's only his mode that actually saves him from being overpowered. This is also similar because just like all the other characters that use Rasugans or other chaser moves are actually able to get countered, or they can easily bait the move for other uses with hyper armor moves. Hmm. This is good because even though you could spam your Ki Blast and other moves for easy damage, you could at the same time learn combos with that beam, because that's what most Piccolo users do. They mostly just spam their Hellzone grenades and also their rush in order to get free damage. Sometimes they get both of the damage. I also think about putting him here because even though I would put him here for his easy teleportation, he's actually at the same time takes skill since imagine people with counters and evasives. That wouldn't look good. And if you just block and hold him, he could be a bit easy to dodge if you could tell what moves he's going to use. Johnson Joestar. He also belongs here because he has really close combat and he needs to constantly charge his Hamon energy to keep using his moves, aside from the mode Scarlet Overdrive. This guy also could belong here because out of all the other Naruto characters, he has literally a strong hyper armor move, which is his flame sword jutsu, and also his kunais do so much damage, and also his mode's really good for good damage. Shanks belong here for this because, like, literally, even though it looked like I would put him here, I can't because he literally is really too close combat and he only has one guard break. But guess what? He's gonna get a rework soon since it was hinted in Infernacer Live. So soon this could change. Now for Minato. This works good because you could either choose to learn cool combos with him, or you could just simply use your moves at the right time to just get easy damage off. So no explanation there. This, even though I also don't own him, I could tell what he is. Like I said, it could be here because he literally has two moves that make him go a long distance, which means it's obvious spam. However, aside from that, you could also learn like short but powerful combos to use with him. Even though he doesn't really have a lot, it's still good to try to learn. Joestar, it's he kind of belongs in here because if your Hermit Purple doesn't work, then he probably will just run away from you, like when you mode up or something, which makes it a bit annoying. And plus, I wouldn't really call it close combat when he has a bit of a long mid-range stun move. Tsubusa could belong here. Well, I think he could belong here because I don't think people use him to run, only iframe certain attacks, which makes it amazing. And he's really good when actually using combos. This guy is brain dead because one leap could actually give you stun and an instant M1 combo, and he has literally one of the easiest 100 to zeros combos ever in some ways. And even without it, he still does insane damage. So you can't really get better than him if you already know easy combos. He belongs here because his air comm and other moves are really good and easy to land at some point. But you could also try to do some combos, which is using the skill. Itachi is a bit of a runner since a lot of people will just use his Krogan Jutsu to not just iframe but actually avoid you entirely and just to reappear and then start attacking you from a distance until they could get you in their illusion. Now instead of being a runner, you are the runner because okay, maybe he belongs in here because even though he covers good ground with mode and base, aside from that, he doesn't really have anything else other than smacking you with those energy orbs. Yep, nothing else. I would actually put him here because he has two good range moves, and one move could even drag people to put in another combo, which means you could do combos here. So it's good to put him there. This is literally brain dead because people in free-for-all just simply spam their other moves, and then he just goes with his Santeria, and then gets you in a free combo because of that. And then Tiger Hunt, easy combo. So you could get a bit better with him, but it's really easy to do his combos at some point. I would put him in Brain Dead if it wasn't for the fact that it's really easy to block him, and also even his moves that do guard break, you could actually easily dodge without need of a counter if you probably jump high enough. So this is why he belongs here. Aizen at some point could actually be here because you could spam his true power and curiosity when you have the chance to do easy damage, or you could choose to actually learn the combo that's a bit hard to pull off because they actually made it hard to do the up tilt into a purple box combo, but he's really good, especially when you know how to time Kaioka. Now this guy's brain dead because at some point, because even though he does take stuff, or I wouldn't put him a skill in spam because you only have one move to spam that's actually your guard break, and you also spam pretty much all your moves. There isn't really much skill required since if you have the chance to do a combo, it's easy to do your combos actually, unless you mess up, which is why I put him here. Gon is absolutely the answer to brain dead, especially thanks to his new pole. His new pole allows his combos to extend even further, doing more damage, and even with his new rock being blockable, it's still really brain dead and probably could result in a near 100 to 0. I wonder if he could actually 100 to 0 now thanks to the pole. But a rework for him is coming, so not to need to worry. I would say him because even though he has, I actually think he belongs here at some point because he literally has two range moves that actually get good damage when you actually have the enemy in end lag. And not only that, but it's actually not that hard to land your zero if you predict where they're going, which is why it works with skill. The spam could just be spamming your moves like slice and stuff to get out of combos when you have the chance, and then stuff. I think this could belong. I would want to put this in runner, but it's only his skateboard that's a runner. But at the same time, like I said, it's not him that's running, it's you, because he's coming straight for you, ready to do that Snake Awakening. So, with skill, he could be a bit better. Now, for this guy, even though he does take some skill or spam, I think he belongs here because even though it looks like he's spammable, aside from that one move, there's actually not really much he could do about you blocking unless you start attacking. So it works good with spam or skill if you know how to do combos, because there's different combos you could do if you want. And it's this one, because even though it would seem brain dead, that's only because people choose not to block like I said before, making it hard to land her moves. Like the energy fist, you could probably circle around, but it takes skill to do that, which is why it's good for Swiss or people that like to rush, especially with her fast beam and other quick moves. Let me see. So his Sokan, let me see. He's a bit brain dead because just like Minato, he has a cool. He's like Minato with a move because he literally has a move that tags you and knocks you back so far. And because of that, he's really brain dead since even in free for all, he could win if he tags enough people with his bungee gun and actually keeps hitting you. This also requires close combat. His combos have been nerfed. Like you could probably still do the old combo, but you just have to do it in a different way probably. And his strike and tide ain't as good really. Now for him, this kind of goes on here because even though you could spam his arrows from far away, I actually used him and actually use M1s and also really neat combos at some point. But not only that, but there's even a video of a Kazuma doing a really good combo with literally all his moves, aside from the buff move. So it's actually skill too. For Pain, it's just this too, because like I said, even though you could spam the moves, they're blockable, but with skill it's good because then you can actually learn different combos. So even though he only has one really good true combo really, aside from others I do not know of, it's still pretty good for skill if you want to have fun learning him. This is him because even though I would like to put him brain dead, he doesn't belong there since his spirit gun's his only good range move, but his shotgun is really horrible to be honest. Like, I don't know why that move was even invented, lol. Alpha Samurai is a bit similar, but at the same time, he could be here because even though he has lots of close range moves, he makes up for that by making you able to counter lots of foes. Like, just one Phantom Cut in base and you're done for because he just takes lots of your health with a long combo, and that new jump is annoying when it could combo extend. For her, it's good because for close combat, she just has that one range move like the others, and then just simply tries to go next to you to land her move that seems blockable but actually just hits 360 at some point, lol. For him, it's the same thing. Like, he's really good for countering other characters when you play defensively, but if you're not patient and aggressive, you could do well with him, though he's really close combat. And this, he's literally brain dead. Don't tell me he ain't. Like, you literally just do your same combo. Drudel shot. Then, Hell's Memories. Then, Konkaso to guard break them because you know that they're obviously going to guard break. Then, finally, Spectre. And boom. Then, Awakening. Silver kick instantly. Yep, no skill. Well, I would say this too, because even though you could spam all your counters and stuff, there's actually a cool eraser technique where you can emote while using the eraser, which is really fun, and actually a bit of skill since you actually trick your opponent really bad. So I like it. So for this, to me he also takes this because I kind of want to put him here because like his time shift is a really good mid-range move that guard breaks. It's like the best guard break because it's the fastest actually, making it really good. So that's why I put him here. His knives is really good since it has a bit of a delay which allows you to get out of some combos if you throw it right before a move. And it starts really good combos and his mode's really good. Yes? Stark. I would also say this because the reason why is because when I used him, even though at first I just spammed Sonito clones and Zero, I actually learned that if you fire Zero alone, not only will it teach you cool aiming skills, but also help you a lot. Like, that's good coordination skills. And his mode, even though it's not as skillful, we're talking about the overall. This is really brain dead at some point because, like, you may be thinking, but he's close combat. Well, say that again when he literally iframes your move and then starts an easy combo because now his barrage is literally combo extended. So what do you think of that? This is a bit of both. Let me just do a random. Okay, so he belongs in here because of a randomization I do because of how close it was. But his needle and annoying flash kick spam could be annoying, especially when you're trying to hold F. Like he's a bit of a hard character to hold F and ignore actually. Especially with his annoying dash that he could dash behind you and then stack. Like imagine. So for Shiro, he's a bit of both, but he's actually here because of a lot of his close combat and skill necessities. Saber is a bit good because it does take skill to use her, but at the same time you can also just spam mana burst and run and just do easy combo, like nothing's stopping you, right? Nothing to explain there. Gilgamesh. It's really here because like you could get better by learning combos, but not that much better since even without the tips, you could already do good combos. Like all you need is that opportunity and you're already doing amazing combos with lots of slams, so there's no need. And it's really obvious why. He just has like there's no avoiding his mode entirely unless you're able to cancel his mode or survive it with something. Hida. Let me see about here. He does take a little skill since not only is he really close combat, but a patient person could actually make you like lose your cool. So you just have to learn to be patient, like the cat there, and just actually wait for your opponent's move. And also make sure to plant bombs so you could stall their mode. And your mode's also good for reset and everything, so that way you have the advantage. Saitama, he's a bit of this, because even though he seems brain dead by running into a group of people, let's just say that not only is counters and other obvious things applied, but aside from that, he literally is a bit hard to do. Like I try to land that combo, but sometimes I don't get there in time to actually get in there after the bicycle, which makes it a bit hard to combo with him. But once you actually learn how to get to the person after using the bicycle, then you're fine. So he's a bit brain dead because here's why. There's already good combos that you can learn with him that are fast, simple, and repeatable. Like rinse and repeat. And aside from that, it's really easy because of the fact that you could just use Mugetsu on their final life or use Vastolord when they have 2 stocks left, and you could easily then like that. Okay, so for Gojo, he takes skill because even though before, no, he takes this because he literally got nerfed so bad that now he really takes lots of skill despite his good amount of moves. And Infinity does not make him really the spam type since they nerfed that too. So for you Gojo players that are waiting to do the very OP character, sadly you're gonna have to learn now. So this is also close combat for obvious reasons. Like his behind you is really good for easy combo starting, but trust me, despite how easy it is to land in free-for-all and against people that don't block, aside from that, trust me, you're not getting any combos. Her is the same thing because she's really good for like easy damage when you use pounce to get people from afar and down smash to start it. But a person that uses counters and other stuff could easily outsmart you. So be careful. Kizaru is literally like he takes a bit of both because now with some differences like the kick combo may be good, but sadly it's not like even if you use that, it's not like you can follow up anymore with all 3 moves. And he's really OP. But he does take a little skill since you need to learn that Yadomir now that everyone knows how it works. Lancer is a bit of this because he's a sweat. Like you just use lunge, 1, 2, 3, flourish, 1, 2, and then behind you, hello, then vault, the end. So, but people that actually learn how to block, as you've seen in my other video, actually could easily get rid of you with by actually learning your character. This guy's a bit brain dead because like he literally has a move that disables all your moves, 1 free combo extender and evasive, and a really good melee move that also has range. Like he pretty much has range on almost all his moves, no question. So for this guy, he's a bit brain dead since you could camp in your pool if you want to be safe, and also just use lots of long range moves, so no question. This guy takes a bit of skill because he's really close range base, so he could be good, but as you also seen, I literally lost a match with Aoki, or like in my other video, which just proves he does take some skill. Like, aside from the lag, of course. Yeah. Well, aside from that, he actually does take skill, and he could be spammable if you just spam the iceberg. I haven't done this guy in a long time, but he could take a bit of skill since most people choose to spam with him, but people have to literally learn the combos because he's really amazing for combos, like down slam into Firebird, then down slam into Hammer, and then that's really good. And you also need to learn how to land those pop greens. This guy, he's a bit brain dead too. Like, just spam floor, and then you can protect yourself, and then use your ice lances that are really amazing for good easy damage if you actually have your opponent not blocking, and then you're set, and his awaken is good also. A bit of a similar thing, like I would put him here because he does take close combat and is easy blockable. It's only his roar that makes your combos possible really, aside from his annoying like pounce like move. My guy, he takes a bit of this, because while in free for all you could get away with getting Night Guy, I don't wouldn't say the same for the first for 2v2s or something. Unless you're actually allowed to do your combos. If someone stops you, then that's it for you, unless you actually get the chance when you fill up your actual mode bar. I guess. He takes a bit of skill because when I used him, it was really hard because he had lots of close combat moves. But when I learned not to try to combo and use my redirect and other moves for AoE, it was actually pretty good. So spam worked for me at that time. And now I can actually do all the combos, and they're really amazing. Which is why I put him here based on experience. Real experience. So you could use skill for combos, but if you just want to spam, then use all those AoE attacks. Iskander, I would say he's brain dead because even though he looks close combat, you just literally go in free for all and that's it. And then in 1v1s, you do the same. Whoop. Oops, did I hit you? The same in 2v2s. Whoops. 3v3s. Whoops. Yep, that's literally what you do. So Vegito, he could work with spam too because you could just spam his blast, his sword, and then just do an easy combo. Or with skill, you could actually learn the best combo, one of the hardest combos ever, in a way it is. But it's actually really amazing to learn it. Like you can literally do the space when ladder and then kick and then cross kicks to literally do 100 to 0, I think. But the health's got buff, so that might take something different. Now since people in 1v1s will be aware when you use your brother, I mean my brother, then they're obviously going to block that. So you have to use it when they have end lag or something that distracts them. Other than that, you're not landing this move. Julie, I would also say that she's right here because unless someone's distracted or something else, you could block her and stuff. But she's really good for cool combos and actually good for people that are really aggressive if they want to learn, that is. Rika, I would put her in a bit of runners because that's what I think of myself doing if I was in 2v2s and other things. Like I would actually back and turtle away a bit. Then I would just like use the umbrella and go behind them and start a really short combo and just keep evading and stuff, and that's all I could do. And then when I get the mode, I just run them down like grass. Kirito. I haven't used them in a while, so it's a bit hard to decide. But because of this, he could either do skill using his combos, but he could also be really amazing for spam because of all the chances you get, like projectile, a really good hyper armor move, a short one, and also other etc. And his mode is also really good. But Frieza, I would put him here too because at first he would have belonged here if I was actually fine with him a long time ago. But now that I actually know how to use him better and actually win free for alls with him, he actually does take skill when you actually aim his moves great. Like it's like Kazuma and also the other guys I put up here, some of them where you actually have to learn how to aim your skills. Rengoku, he's brain dead. His new unknown fire buff is so good. Like you could literally do a perfect circle nearly, and then that counts as a hit. You don't even have to go past them. You could just touch them, and then it initiates the hit. So now he's absolutely brain dead. Like you can't get better since you know the obvious combo. I don't really play them all, so it takes some time, but could put him here because his counter is really long range, which means you could easily iframe. His Iron Fist is really fast. His dash really gives you the distance closing, and his swallows is really annoying because it not only is a hyper armor thing, but it also really gets you in an easy combo. Like just imagine swallows, then yep, and he's not an AVA, I don't think, so that's concealed. He's not an AVA. What are you doing in here? So to make this quick, he's spammable because you can either just spam your moves like any other skillless person could do, or you could actually learn when to time your moves like the skillful fighter that Crocodile really is. Shisui, he's a bit of this too, or he does need a bit close combat because he's like Itachi, but he's the aggressive kind. Like you literally want to rush the person so bad and just hit them with everything you got. And he has crazy hitboxes and stuff on a lot of stuff. So you actually want to use him if you want to be aggressive, which is the only reason why I put him here because he's like Itachi but used aggressively. Toby, he's the perfect runner. Like you come on, like he doesn't have to run. He just has to put intangibility and he just does the dance in your face. Just kidding. He belongs here because you can either spam your moves or actually learn the combos, bro. Just learn them. It helps you. Stop wasting your time. Okay? So for this, she's brain dead because you do just spam your attacks. And even though I could actually use some skill, I like to put in a skill, but to be honest though, there are not really that many combos that are to learn, because even though there could be crazy combos, you don't need that much to learn the combos here. Even though it does a bit cut close here. I do have to admit. I would put her here because she's really close combat based. But Ryoko is really amazing. Like, one hit and you could do an easy combo, which is why it's good for sweat. And no, it actually does take skill to use him now that he got nerfed, but also buffed at the same time. So you actually need to know how to do the combos, or you could just be the teammate that just sits there with his cup of Joe and just be like, thunder, and then just simply attack people. But I recommend it be better if you try to use combos so you can defend yourself. She's a bit of this because the penetrator could easily hit people, but you should see the amount of point gain she has on all that barrage she has. It's really amazing, and it's good hyper armor. And the heal could actually be really good, so it could take skill if you learn the combos really well. Well, even though there's only one really rule, but she has amazing moves. Or you could just choose to spam like anyone else. Okay. I would say this because unlike Ryoko, she actually has block, which literally not only iframes but attacks a person, starting an easy combo. Like imagine you're in a combo and someone tries to use an evasive. You could just use block and then start the combo again if their evasive doesn't last long enough, making this really OP. Like maybe not as fun, but actually really cool. This is the definition of a runner, actually, because even though you could actually okay, maybe I'm gonna put it as runner because even though you could learn good combos with him, those combos are really easy to do. And like I said, runners don't really need a lot of combo practice. Now for Achilles. Yeah. Achilles? Where's Achilles? Achilles, come back here. You're my favorite. Okay, so he's really good because you can either spam a lot of your moves like other Lancers do when they try to aggro, or you can actually like be patient and use your defenses really well because it does take skill for his mode. Like his mode is literally just the same thing but with M1s and teleportation that end greater M1 damage, which is why it takes skill. And he's actually really fun to learn M1s with, so it's actually really good to use him. Samashu, I would say he works with spam because it does take some skill because before he wasn't that good, only in duos. But in 1v1s, you could actually learn how to use skill to make him better. And the spam could be for multiple people and his mode and his base. Finally, for Ishtar, brain dart because if you just know, all you need to do is know how to do that slam and you're literally, that's it. Like, After that, you can do really good combos, and even with the nerf, she probably still has really easy ways of killing you in mode. So it's actually really easy for Mesh. Even though I would put in skill and stuff, because she has a little range, she's mostly aggro. Because you literally play super defensive, and you could be a coward, but when you're aggro, you could literally do an easy one-shot, if not a lot of damage. Now for Asta. You can actually learn how to land his moves, like his dual, like totally not copy Getsu slashes really well if you actually know how to aim it in a certain place because it does have a wonky hitbox a bit. But aside from that, he has really long range and good moves. I love his moveset. It's really good with skill and spam. Big Mom, you cannot get better because there's literally no combos to learn. Like, probably just maybe a slam and thunderbolt and you're probably lucky. But aside from that, nothing else. Just 4 M1s, then your combination. Zeus! Prometheus! Napoleon! Now finally, for Sinon, does take a bit of skill since even though you can spam your moves, you could also learn how to use those M1s to do really good M1 combat because it's actually fun, trust me. So that, everyone, is the tier list. Like, I know this is, of course, I don't expect this to be 100% accurate to help you all, but I hope this actually helps you get an idea of all the AVA characters. Because if you take a closer look at my AVA tier list and think about it, it's actually really good advice. So I hope you actually get help and actually know which characters to use for which situations. Because to me, these types of characters could actually fit these situations really well. So I hope you enjoyed my AVA tier list. And this is the Monster Avenger, the real one. And I'll see you soon. Bye.